What's going on, guys? So today I'm just going to cover basically the mods and kind of a brief overview of the car. Alright, so we're going to go over the exterior of the car. I kind of wanted to shoot this in a different location, and I know this spot right here is always open. Very peaceful spot, minimal noise, and thank God I'm not in North Dakota anymore, because if you're standing anywhere with no trees, it's windy as hell 24/7 there. Alright, so going from the front of the car, obvious things you're going to notice, right? You got the R-Theory Motorsports hood louvers. Love them, had them powder coated. They have been a blast, no issues at all there. If you scroll back on my Instagram some, when my radiator blew up at Road Atlanta on day one, well, I'm not going to say blew up, but when it cracked, some of the coolant, which was on the crack happened on the passenger side of the radiator, like central side of the fins or whatever. It actually, just because of the draft or whatever, it pulled the coolant up through the vents and it went onto my windshield, which is awesome, right? It didn't get on the track at all. It was misting and just coming up out of the vents onto the windshield. This was already as I was getting off the track, so kind of cool. Anyways, enough of that. Clear side markers. I have the Rev 9 NUE aggressive front lip. Really cool, right? Because it's basically a bigger, or I want to say gigantic, but it's not. It's just a bigger MAZDASPEED lip, and it has like the cool little. If you look at the arrow here in the front side, or whatever the hell you want to call it, it kind of mocks up and flows with the side skirt, like the OEM side skirts. Well, these aren't OEM; these are like NV1 or small Tupperware or whatever. But I love how this flows from front to back. That's all I ever care about. I hate the large Tupperware only because, well, some people for some reason run either a large Tupperware front lip and then a small side skirt, which doesn't really make sense to me, or vice versa. It'll be like the large Tupperware side skirt and then like I don't know what lip in the front, not the large Tupperware sometimes, and that kind of throws me off. But I have to have flow, I have to have lines, and as you can see, we have that kind of going on even to the rear valence. I mean, it's almost even. It's close enough. Right, but moving on from the side skirt talk, because that's just too much time I'm already killing. I'm trying to make these short. I got my Project G little window bench right here. You can just punch the hell out of them all day. I love going to car shows and kids will come up and ask, like, and when I say kids, I'm talking about little kids. And I'll tell them all day, like, hey, reach in, just, push it out, whatever. These are really cool because, well, they do what they need to do. When you are sitting in this car and you have that open, it will literally ram the air right in your face. And it's cool because you can actually have the window completely up, right? And then you'll have this open, which is kind of cool, but it'll get noisy, It's just a temporary, like, airflow type deal. Maybe you don't want to run the AC, you're just trying to pump some more air in the car. I'm not going to say it's a substitute for AC by any means, because it's not. You'll notice just re-cleared and painted black housings. A friend of mine, Brandon, did that. Or I'll throw his Instagram maybe right here somewhere. But he's the one I have, or he's the friend I have here in Valdosta, Georgia, with a red MAZDASPEED Miata. And his car is extremely clean. He repainted the whole thing. We met because I sold him some parts off of this car back in the day, and it's kind of been a win-win because I get to work on his cars. He gets to help me paint things here and there. Pretty cool relationship we have going on there. Suspension, I'm running the VMAX track pack from Miata. I already forgot the spring rates, but it's pretty comfortable. Have no complaints, street use, track use, whatever. And I say track use like I'm tracking this car every day, but I mean just from autocross and what I've seen at the firm and Road Atlanta. Pretty awesome. So I got R-Theory end links on all four corners. I got Miata billet sway bar mounts in the rear right here. Also have ABOC front and rear sway bars. They're a little bigger than stock, nothing like too dramatic. Alright, so the interior is your pretty much everyday Miata interior. Well, at least for people that want to have some fun. So guess we'll start with the rears, right? The safety. So hard dog ace, double diagonal. Yep, cool harness bar. I got the Takata Drift 3 harnesses, and it's funny because in this camera you can actually see how faded the seat is, but I got the Takata Drift 3s. These are really sick because they're DOT, street legal, whatever. They're 4 points, which I know isn't the safest thing in the world, but I do love that the buckle is a typical like everyday buckle, whatever, right? Like just press and go, no latches to spin or whatever. Sparco Sprints are held in by PCI one-piece mounts. Really cool, but they're also fixed. So of course, if you have any taller friends that want to drive your car, well, they're not gonna have a good time because, well, they're just not. I did have a friend co-drive my car. Shout out to my boy Casey in North Dakota. But this man is tall. He's like 6'5" or something. I don't really know, but he looked crazy in here, right? But he still drove it, and I give him props because I even took the key. Let's see. I broke the key fob in half, and this man was still able to hit his knee right here in this little lip of the corner when this key separated. He hit the key mid-turn and turned the car off, and I really kind of freaked out. So I could think the car was broke, and I was like, oh no, like I wasn't the one to be able to blow up my first Miata. It didn't happen. It just was the key. The key just turned off, whatever. Anyways, back up to the front of the interior. So you got the Nardi 330 millimeter classic wheel, NRG quick release. I think it's a Gen 2, I'm pretty sure. Then I have the rev limiter custom gauges, really sick. And then I got the Broadway mirror from Spinning Whoosh, which is also really cool. If you watched any of my Instagram stories, you recognized Pikachu the most because I'm pretty much always angling the camera back up to Pikachu. And then I got a Fly Miata boost gauge right here in the vent. That's just the place that makes the most sense for me. I don't really care for A-pillar gauges, and I still have 3 vents to use, which, speaking of which, I have Jeep Commander vents to put in here pretty soon, but that's on the giant list of things to do in the car once it's on jack stands, and I'm tearing it apart pretty soon. Anyone was curious, yes, this trunk is still functional. However, it's not hinged, so I'll just kind of show you how that works. Alright, it's kind of cool. So I used to have foam up in here to keep water out, but I kind of gave up on that because it meant having to basically lift the top all awkward. Now, because there's nothing there, I don't even care anymore. I can just prop this right up. Good old LEDs from some Toyota thing. And then, well, that foam is supposed to be over there blocking water to go into the center. But yeah, it does leak back here. You can see over here I have that piece just kind of blocking water from getting to the battery. So it channels any water that gets in here right into the trunk. I pop the drain and we're good to go. There's no rust back here at all. Very, how do I put it? Very quick to make sure there's no sitting water back there. If anybody was curious about the wheels on this car, because they are pretty awesome, they kind of almost color match. These are Ray's Graham Lights 57Vs. I even have the cool little valve stem caps for them, the center caps. What's awesome about these wheels is that I believe this size may be discontinued, but whatever, maybe they're not. But they're 15 by 7.5, that's the kicker, right? So 15 by 7.5 with the 0 offset. So I get to cheat a lot of my fitment, and I can run extremely narrow and cheap tires. I think the whole set of these hand-cooked Ventuses were like I don't know, like 250 or maybe 300 all 4 shipped. And I mean, look at the tires, man. They're still, I don't know if you can see, yeah, minimal wear for camber back here. The alignment's pretty solid, but I mean, I've driven on these tires for I don't know how long now, and they probably will last me another, I mean, at this rate, a couple years. And then of course we have the auto connection fastback top. Everybody loves it, as do I, most of the time. But anybody who personally knows me will also know that, and you can see it in my posts all the time, I'll take it off, I'll throw on, or I still have the soft top in the car, but I'll go from the fastback to the soft top, or now I have a OEM hardtop, which was recently repainted by the same friend who helped me out with the headlights here in Valdosta. And where was I going with this? Oh, okay, yeah. So I had him paint and install the carbon Miata wing, which you might have seen in some posts recently, but I have yet to put that combination on this car. I'm dying to see how it's going to look, and I'll probably do it here pretty soon. All right, I've already spent so much time talking about the exterior and just interior of the car, so I'm going to try to keep the engine bay kind of short and sweet to the point. As you saw in the other video, I kind of explained how the factory oil catch can setup is modified. I think I might have said I was running 2 plus 1, but it's 2 total. It's just the factory catch can there and the VMS catch can over there. This car has a Flying Miata little enchilada kit. This is pretty much what you see in almost every MAZDASPEED's engine bay. The only things to really take note of or know that's modified beyond that, I am running the Zinner diode mod, which you can't see. You can tell because I have a nice little bit of electrical tape right here. But that's just to cover where I slid in the diode. You could put the diode in the actual harness, but it was easier for me to kind of wedge it down by the pins to alter the voltage that the TPS is going to see. I'm also running, I don't know if you can see these things. No, you can't. But I'm running the Supra 315, I think, or 305. I already forgot. They're like the light green Supra injectors, which everyone knows the stock ECU can pretty much run. Yeah, it might stumble a little bit on cold starts and some hot starts, but it's only stumbling for a couple seconds, then it clears right back up. Yeah, other than the Zinner diode mod, the Supra injectors, and then the Flying Miata kit, and sorry, not kit, but the little enchilada kit, it's still stock turbo, whatever. Boost controller set to about 10 psi, and of course it also has the Flying Miata O2 modifier, which the combination of all three of these things, because there's been a point in time where I didn't have all three of those at the same time, but I'll hopefully shoot here pretty soon how the car responds to full throttle, because I guess the only way to really explain it is it's either on and off of this car. The bog, oh yeah, that's right, the bog. So I did replace whatever the hell this part's called. Oh, sorry, what is this, the one? Hang on, I'm kind of forgetting now. Nope, sorry. This one. I replaced this part with the one from Amazon. I think it's like 18 bucks, but everyone blames this little solenoid on some of the bog issues with this car. After installing this and resetting the ECU, just like with a typical, disconnect the battery and let the car sit for a couple minutes or whatever. My God, when I turned it back on again, it was night and day how the pedal felt to me. It actually felt like I was back on a Mega Squirt ECU. The feelings kind of went away from me now. The car still feels very slow in a straight line. It's not meant to be a very fast straight line car. I don't care for it to be anywhere near fast in a straight line. I kind of just care about it being, quick around the turns, whatever the track. So I'm in the middle of shooting and taking photos. We already got some locals here that are about to do some burnout things. I might try to pan the camera, but I don't know if they're gonna do it or not. I did not condone any of this, it just happened. If you listen closely to the part about the engine bay and what I've done to make the car run pretty decent on the stock ECU, because that's going to be the biggest downfall with these cars. Everyone hates the stock ECU. I'm not saying that what I've done to the car makes it better than a standalone ECU, right? I'm just simply saying that the Band-Aid mods that I've done and experimented with and what have you have made the car very, we'll say, usable, for a lack of better terms, I guess. It's just, I love having the OEM turnkey. It cranks only 2 or 3 times like any other OEM car would. It starts up and runs like it's supposed to. It makes the cool little turbo noises, but then on top of that, because of the injectors, the O2 modifier, and the Zinner diode mod, I have a wideband in the glove box that I forgot to show y'all, but it's not pretty. I have it literally like self-tap screwed into place. It's pretty sad. I don't want anybody to see that mess, but I can tell you when I do get on it, it gets plenty of fuel right away. If you know these cars, you know that, well, they run very lean, low end, until they're about around like 4, sometimes 5,000 RPM, and then the fuel comes on, and then you're like, holy crap, how come I feel my car moving now? With this tiny little turbo, why does it feel like there's VTEC, or I'm saying VTEC, but why does it feel like there's like a bunch of turbo lag for a car with a turbo that's literally the size of your fist? You know what I mean? It's not perfect, but you'll see here pretty soon. It does pull very good. It does run very rich under boost. This is the extent of how much power I want the car to make. It's very usable, and like I said, the turnkey feature, the OEM feel, I turn my AC on, it works like it's supposed to. that is great. I don't miss the headaches of Mega Squirt, even though, yes, I know it would be all cool with launch control and flat shifting. I miss that. I had it in this car. I had it in a previous Miata. I'm not going to knock that at all. But would I go back to that and face the headaches? No, probably not. But enough ranting there. That's just literally one of my biggest complaints with this car, and I share that complaint with everybody who's owned one of these before. Thanks for watching the video. Like I said, it's getting I'm kind of starting to feel like I'm talking to a person, so it's not as awkward. But I will catch you guys. Yep, there we go. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Drop in the comments what I missed, what you want to see. Sorry, I have like a really weird lisp right now. I don't know why. So I'll see you guys later. And while I'm parked, I'm gonna show you some cool stuff in here, right? So here we go with the backlighting for the custom rev limiter gauges. If you look closely at 140 miles per hour, watch this. Yeah, I am hiding behind there, my check engine lights. I had the instructions for the installation, and I knew that I didn't really care to know this car has check engine lights, so it made more sense to just keep it behind there. Everything else is functional. I think the brights might be hidden somewhere. I can't remember, but I just think it's funny that during the daytime, if I ever record an in-cabin shot of this car, I'll always turn these on so people wouldn't notice there's a check engine light behind 140 miles per hour, which is kind of cool, kind of funny. So yeah, those aren't the best examples of acceleration in this car by any means. I definitely was kind of pressed for room, let alone daylight and whatnot, to kind of mess around, but you get the idea. The car definitely pulls. There's minimal to no lag or bog whatsoever. As soon as I go foot to the floor, because granted those were like first gear, kind of already rolling starts, I couldn't find a spot to really come to a dead stop. But yeah, I mean, this is the car, you know, it's very reliable. Change the oil, do some maintenance here and there. I've had zero issues with this thing whatsoever. It's been a blast. Hopefully I got the point across. If not, I'll dive into the mods a little more, or get like a stationary camera. I couldn't get the mount to work with the steering column here, but yeah, we'll dive more into that next time for sure. Hopefully you can hear me right now. I'm not really sure how it's going to pick up the car right now in the background, but Miata things.